Okay guys, we're going to look at the last war against Persian race. Another Clan Perk 7 clan. They gave up towards the end. They couldn't catch us, so they didn't bother after about 30 minutes, an hour to go. They really struggled on our top bases. They couldn't make a dent really, and struggled on some of our Town Hall 10s. So if they don't get 2 stars on even our lower sort of Town Hall 10s, they're going to be in trouble. So we'll jump in and have a look at some of the raids. Okay, we'll have a look at Lee's raid and then number 14. Doing a go haul, going for the lure. Deciding to make a dent in the health of the hound there. So we'll just speed through this. So just taking 2 golems for his initial sort of tanking. Okay, so we're fairly deep into the base with that jump there, so providing something's going to go in and do some damage. So we're some good heal spell placement here. There's a bomb here, and it's always a good idea to put a giant bomb in range of a wizard tower, or pretty close to a wizard tower, because even if there's just one giant bomb, that's going to do splash damage to a whole heap of hogs if they're near it, and then the wizard can often finish them off with 1 or 2 shots, because they do decent splash damage as well. So you've always got to cover the wizard towers with heal. There we go. So it's just a bit of cleanup now. Okay, good stuff. I'm gonna have a look at before we get into the next raid, just have a quick look at number 13. Just have a look at the base here. We struggled a bit with this one. There was a couple of these bases in the war, but we had a couple of guys struggled on this. They're a little bit unsure of how to hit it, but basically, if you're coming across this this base, this layout, one of the solid sort of ways of attacking this is quake this area. This is your quake spell. So you'll be dropping that sort of midpoint in this wall. That's going to take out most of that, and with a bit of luck, just catch the town hall and do some damage to that. You can, if you want, just move that quake spell in just a little bit. It'll still get the walls, but it will then catch the town hall and make it easier to finish off. Jump spell over these 2 junctions, and that's going to be easy to place because obviously, it's quite a small junction you only need to cover. This one is a bit more tricky though, so what I would suggest you do, if you're not aware that the jump spell will, at its maximum, get you over 2 walls with 5 spaces in between, so that's why I've marked kind of the tiles. So when you're planning your attack, zoom into this area and basically count the 5 tiles. You want to be aiming for the middle one, so make a mental note of where that middle tile is going to be. So if we look at the 5 tiles in between, it's going to be pretty much at the entrance to this builder's hut, not builder's hut, and this barracks. So so make a mental note of where you're going to drop that. So when your raid starts, you know, you can get your quake and get the 2 jumps in, zoom into this area a little bit and just pinpoint that and get that bang on where it needs to be, and then your jump will be sound. And then it's just 2 golems in each jump, wizards behind, heroes in the middle jump, and that's pretty much it basically. You want to put a rage over this sort of area when the troops get there, and you should easily do that base. Okay, so we'll get back to some of the raids. We'll have a look at I think a raid that Clay did in a minute, and he attacked that base using that method, and it worked pretty well. Okay, so we'll have a look at DJ's raid, and they're number 12. So he's been a bit premature with his heroes there. Basically what you'd do, you'd stick your jumps in, your golems in each jump, wizards behind the lot, and get them sort of doing damage, and then sort of send in your heroes. So he's been a bit premature there, his DJ. But as you'll see, he's going to get the 2 stars anyway, so not to worry. There we go. So I've still got the ability in the Arch Queen, so she's taken down the Inferno. Okay, there we go. Okay, going to have a look at Jackson's raid, and they're number 10. There are a lot of these bases, you know, and they can be pretty tricky. You know, you do get a tendency for troops to go wandering if you're not careful. So if you're hitting a Town Hall 10, it seems to be a fairly solid. Let's just get through this CC kill, then we'll talk about where the jumps are going. So he's popped the hound, and we're going to use a poison to get shut of those. So Jackson's coming in at this sort of 9 to 6 side, as we call it, 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and he's going to be coming in 2 jumps at the side. So obviously what we want to be doing is getting your troops in at the side, and then they kind of working inwards. You may lose Golem that way, but you know, you ideally want them to come into the centre there. So that's the plan. So we're going to start breaking these buildings here, like breaking the chain, if you will, of things going round. So that's why we're starting at this side. If you start them here, there's a chance that they can go wandering. You can get away with doing this on a Town Hall 10. Chance you may struggle a bit on a Town Hall 11 with this, because it's a bit of a longer raid, and the Eagle Artillery will be pounding you. But we'll say this works pretty well. So what you're going to see now, because we've got this sort of ring of defences round the outside here, you're going to see the golems are going to pretty much stick there. The Barb King has been dropped, to my mind, a little bit early, so he's going to come to this point, and because you know the golems are merrily away pounding on the defences, it allows the Barb King to overtake the golems and get targeted by the single Inferno, which is going to take him down pretty quick. So you see he's overtaken. He's overtaken and now, so he's vulnerable, so he's going to get tagged now. No time to really use the ability. If you do, it's not going to protect him. So he's down. Now you see where the Archer Queen is. She's outside the base, completely protected because of her range. So generally, if I'm attacking a base, certainly with a single Inferno, and I'm going at the single Inferno, I'll generally wait until perhaps just before this point, but to send in the Barb King and kind of make sure he gets to this sort of area, sort of unmolested. See, the golems are now taking the single Inferno sort of target there. So if you get your Barb King into this area, you can pretty much pop him as soon as he gets round here. He's going to take down that Inferno and start working on Town Hall. So we've got the ability in the Archer Queen, so we're going to get the Town Hall, no problem. There we go. Still got a few Wizzies left. But yeah, tricky bases these. Okay. I'm going to have a look at Ryan's Raid, number 9. It's another similar base if I recall this one. So one of the sort of attacks you can make at this base is to quake the centre and make a great big opening, and then come in basically over a corner like this, you know, and then send in your heroes through the middle jump, and there's a big opening there for them to get in, and this is quite a robust way of making sure that your troops do get into that core. You know, it kind of the troops at the side just take away all the side buildings and basically just leave the town hall exposed for the Archer Queen to come in. So decent raid. So just bear that approach in mind, guys. If you're facing one of these bases, it may be an option. Okay, so we're going to look at Clay's raid on there, number 8. So this is that base that I was telling you about that we were looking at before on the number 13. So again, we brought the Quake in a little bit to do some damage to the Town Hall. So I nailed the jump perfectly. Two golems in each. Wizards behind. And then we can send in the heroes. Now again, on this base has got multi-inferno, so no real sort of issue here. But if you're facing a single inferno, again, you see the Barb King's up in front. You may just want to, you know, hold on to that Barb King until you think that the golems are about to get targeted by the single inferno, and then send them in. But as it's both multis, they've got plenty of time with the heroes. Still got a lot of troops up at the top. It's going to take down most of that top section. Decent stuff. Okay. Normally we only look at one. I generally pick just one raid from each person, especially, well, even if they've done two, but we'll have a look at Clay's other raid on number 7. It's a pretty decent raid, this. Can be a tricky base, but as we saw on the one that Ryan did, I think it was on the number 9, where he came in from the side. It's a similar sort of approach on this one. You know, whereas if you came in perhaps 3 jumps from this side, there's a chance your troops are going to be going wandering. But he's used the same approach. We're going to do the quake on the core to create a big opening, and we're going to come in basically from the side, from the 3 o'clock side. So we'll just speed through so we can see what happens. But the hero's going to come in, and they're going to come straight forward in a dead straight line, come straight to the core, straight in there, and then that's nailed it. So decent raid, that. Okay. Right, we're gonna have a look at Ben's raid now on the number 4. Okay, so a reasonably similar sort of attack to the last one. Quake to this side, and then we're going to come in basically across the side of the base. Just didn't quite get this wall with that jump, so you're going to see the golems pounding on this wall in a minute once they've taken care of the cannon. So the Barb King's done a detour to take out the defending Barb King. So it looks like that the Ben's Archer Queen went back into the core to take out the defending Archer Queen. So she's kind of lured him in. Otherwise that Archer Queen would have been going down this way, and that would have been 1 star and egg on the face. But, I'm just clearing up a few extra percentage points, so decent stuff. Okay, I'll look at the raid I did in there, number 2. So we're talking about the coming in from this side, but we were talking earlier about the placement of the jump spell. Now on this, just to explain, you can perhaps just see the tiles. So we know that the cannon is 3 tiles, and then there's 4, and then there's 5. So basically you're looking at the midpoint between the 3rd tile. So I made a mental note that the sort of the edge of the foot of the cannon there is dead center for that compartment. So that was my target for the jump. So there was no problem about getting that on target. So widespread of golems, you don't want to be just like sort of double tapping the golems, certainly with the Eagle artillery firing down, so it'll get both of your golems, so quite a widespread. They will obviously bunch up when they get into the base, but initially you don't want to lose too many golems. So just hold on to the Barb King a little bit till the troops start getting into the base. He will have a tendency to wander, so he's now coming in. That's that first line of defences have gone. So stuff's about to start getting targeted now by the multi-inferno, all these whizzes, so should be using the ability pretty soon on the warden. There we go. So that allows the multi-inferno to go down. There's a 50%. But pretty well covered this base for picking stuff off. It certainly with the minion you're going to struggle. It's pretty covered everywhere, so it's the best we could do. Okay, last one I'm going to have a look at is Eddie's Raid and number 1. Again, similar base that we've seen. Doesn't do the jump over the whole of this compartment, but he's going to use breakers to lure the clan castle, as you'll see. Okay, so clan castle's out. We are going to jump over this wall eventually, but you know, he's just done the lure. There we go. There's a 50%. Because he took that many troops, different types of troops, he couldn't see these golems off the not golems, the giants off the edge of the page. So there we go, good stuff. So yeah, decent war. I think that's about the 9th in the row, that one that we've won. So yeah, decent stuff, decent score. So well done, and we'll catch you on the next one.